But first tonight, I can exclusively reveal several of the organisers behind Greta Thunberg's Gaza flotilla are supporters of the terror group Hezbollah and its slain leader, Hassan Nasrallah. This is the dark underside of the Gaza convoy that's capturing media attention globally. Thiago Avila is the coordinator of the Freedom Flotilla Brazil and a member of the steering committee.
Hello everyone, I'm Thiago Avila, steering committee member of the Freedom Flotilla Coalition.
In his profile on the Freedom Flotilla website, he even boasts that he's been an activist for the Palestinian cause for 19 years and he's been in prison in the region. After Israel killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, Thiago attended his funeral and celebrated the terrorist leader.
Think about liberation of the entire world. When you study the histories of revolutions and anti-colonial struggle and anti-imperialist struggle, we see some figures, some people that they come out, that they shine. And Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah was one of these people.
Nasrallah was Hezbollah's leader for 32 years. He was responsible for the murder of thousands, literally thousands. The attacks under his leadership included the murder of 58 French peacekeepers, the bombing of the US Embassy in Beirut, killing 49 embassy staff, bombing the US and French Marine barracks, killing 299 people, the hijacking of planes, the murder of Saudi diplomats, and many, many more terror attacks. Yet this is a man, the organiser of Greta's Gaza flotilla, admires. Thiago spoke publicly about how honoured he was to be at Nasrallah's funeral.
So I'm actually very honoured to be here. I hope I can convey the message as best as I can.
And Thiago posted video footage on his social media from the funeral as well. And then here he is on the Gaza flotilla.
This is one of the most beautiful days of my life because we've been struggling so hard to take these boats to the sea, to break the sea, to create a humanitarian corridor. And our boats have been bombed, have been kidnapped, have been attacked. Now we're on our way. Gaza, we are on our way.
So that claim there that he'd been kidnapped, well, remember when Israeli soldiers boarded their last flotilla and gave them sandwiches to eat and water? Yes, that was when they claimed they were taken hostage, a word they used, as you can see on the screen, hostage. Well, someone needs to tell Thiago and Greta that this is what real hostages look like. And just a warning, the footage is distressing, like Eviatar David and Rom Braslavsky. The hostages who've genuinely been kidnapped by Hamas and are being denied food and water. They are on the verge of death, having to dig their own graves. For Thiago to claim he's been kidnapped is an utter insult. Now, it's not just him. There's another flotilla participant, an Irish comedian, Tag Hickey. You can see him sitting to the right of Game of Thrones actor Liam Cunningham at the press conference yesterday. And he was excited to be there.
Welcome to beautiful Barcelona. We're about to set sail to Gaza.
Well, Hickey also attended the funeral of the terrorist Hassan Nasrallah, and he was proud to speak about it online, calling him an iconic and revolutionary leader who stood up to the Zionist enemy.
One thing I'm learning about Hassan Nasrallah, I just knew him from his speeches as a revolutionary leader, as somebody who stood up to the might of the Zionist and US empire and beat them.
And he even said that Western leaders could learn a thing or two from Nasrallah.
A lot of the things I'm learning about him, I kind of think to myself, it would be amazing if some Western leaders behaved in this way.
Seriously? The stupidity. And then after the funeral, Hickey waxed lyrical about what an incredible experience it was and just how sad the occasion was.
To say that I feel privileged and blessed to have been part of that experience is genuinely the understatement of my life. I suppose let's just begin with the obvious stuff. The reports that we heard in the West that there was going to be no one at this funeral, that the resistance in Lebanon was effectively finished, Hezbollah have no longer got any popular support, we can all get a good night's sleep. That may have been a little bit premature, guys.
Well, what an embarrassment. And Hickey also mourned the death of Nasrallah's bodyguard, writing on social media, "The genocidal scum who killed you are dead inside anyway. Your humanity and integrity lives on." And he was, of course, referring to Israel there. So two key figures on the Freedom Flotilla lauding a murderous, brutal terrorist. And it comes as Greta Thunberg refused to call out Hamas as terrorists in a media interview.
We know your views on what's happening and Israel's actions. Can I just ask you your thoughts on Hamas? They're still holding hostages. What would your message to Hamas be?
Again, there is a genocide going on. Palestinians have been living under suffocating oppression, and when there is an occupational force, this is not my views. By international law, people have a right to resist that occupation.
A right to resist. That was her answer to a question about Hamas. Well, just a reminder to Greta, Hamas killed children and even tiny babies in their cots on October 7. Is that resistance? And the following image is still distressing, even though it's partially blurred. And there are so many more images. You can see here, this is a bloodied baby's cot. So many more images and videos from October 7, which unfortunately are too horrific to broadcast. I wish they weren't, because people need to be reminded that those horrors took place, that those murderers chased and gunned down teenagers and killed parents in front of their children. This is the genocidal, bloodthirsty terrorist group that Greta refuses to condemn. The group that started this war and refuses to end it by continuing to hold hostages. Greta and her group, as you know, refused to even watch the footage from October 7. Now they say they're trying to deliver aid to Palestinians, but this is exactly what Israel is doing, as Nate Buzz showed us last night.
How many meals have been distributed as of today?
So I'm not sure of the exact number, but I think we're going to hit 140 million meals delivered in 3 months today.
The entire Freedom Flotilla mission is fraudulent. This isn't about human rights. In truth, they're driven by an irrational hatred for Israel. They glorify terrorism as martyrdom. They praise terror leaders as iconic revolutionary figures. And they extol a murderous movement as resistance. This is a dangerous, disingenuous, misguided mission masquerading as a humanitarian operation when in fact it excuses violence in the name of destroying Israel and Zionists. The Freedom Flotilla should be called out for what it is: a group of self-obsessed, moronic and racist Israel haters.